Good evening and welcome to NNX, where we give you campus news faster than you can eat a bowl of mac and cheese. I'm Alexia Cadota-Browner.
And I'm Ellie Skelly. Let's dive right into tonight's stories. Today, Northwestern graduate workers are formally voting on whether to officially recognize NUGW, or Northwestern University Graduate Workers, as their official union. Union recognition would mean increased bargaining power with the university. This bargaining power would allow a greater ability to negotiate for items like competitive pay and comprehensive health care. This vote is the result of a culmination of efforts made by NUGW to guarantee better working conditions for graduate workers.
It's the writing's on the wall, like people want to have this election, people want to go vote for their union.
The last polling center closes at 8 tonight and all locations reopen at 10 tomorrow morning. The vote is entirely managed by the National Labor Relations Board. The results of the election will be released.
Turning to sports, with basketball season well underway, Northwestern student organization Wildside is ramping up efforts to increase school spirit by adding 200 additional seats to the Welsh Ryan Arena student section. Last Wednesday's men's basketball game against U of I was a big one, with the Cats having lost the prior 8 games against them. Wildside's special edition t-shirt giveaway and whiteout theme helped to pack out Welsh Ryan Arena. So much so that hundreds of students were turned away when the stadium hit capacity. Those lucky enough to get in experienced an electric game, with the Cats breaking their losing streak with a 73-60 win over the Illini.
Even if it comes that you feel like you arrived early and you didn't get a chance to come in, don't be discouraged. I feel like there's definitely opportunity to still support the Cats through social media, interacting with Wildside, also putting the game on TV, whether that be at your dorm, in the student center. Just make it a whole campus event as opposed to an event just inclined to the arena.
In a response to upset students, Wildside worked quickly to add 200 additional seats to the student section and promoted their Twitter for game day updates in the future. You can support Cats basketball at their next home game tomorrow at 8 p.m.
Many Evanston small businesses have struggled over the past 2 years. One of them is Al's Deli. Al's fell 2 months behind on rent at the end of 2022. Now, their GoFundMe page has received over $17,000 in the past 2 weeks. Al struggled in its pandemic recovery and lost customers as a result of its mask requirement and lack of indoor diners. The GoFundMe page was started by a customer who didn't want her favorite deli to disappear.
It's just people that love the place and love Bob and John and the work and appreciate the work that they've put in and don't want to come here and find the door locked one day.
And now Michaela is in the studio with us to tell us about this story. Michaela, Al's isn't the only business that's been struggling. Which other ones have started GoFundMe pages?
Yes, Ellie. So beside Al's Deli, we've seen Coffee Lab have a GoFundMe, and Clark's has recently closed. Bookends and Beginning also has a GoFundMe, and the main reasons we've seen is inflation and the lingering effects of COVID.
Clark's off campus is one of my favorites. That's too bad. And how is Evanston supporting these businesses?
So Evanston Economic Development Manager Paul Zalmazak is creating a business district improvement strategy and implementation plan known as Evanston Thrives with Interface Studio, which is a consulting group. They're showing a report in February, and they are hoping they can bring new shoppers to Evanston as well as branding Evanston.
Thank you so much, Michaela. Alexia?
Turning now to technology. The new artificial intelligence software, ChatGPT, gives users conversational answers to their questions, but raises concerns on college campuses about academic integrity. However, some NU professors are excited about its benefits and think education should change to accommodate new advancements in technology.
How do we make sure that our education isn't something where simply putting in a prompt into ChatGPT and having it spit out some essay or something like that's all we're really expecting from students?
If you want to join the conversation about ChatGPT, the Responsible AI Student Organization, or RISO, is having a discussion at 6 p.m. this Thursday. From AI to social networking, student representatives of the new social networking app, Fizz, promoted the launch around campus on the first day of winter quarter. Fizz, a campus-specific app similar to Yik Yak and SideChat, allows students from a specific university to share messages, memes, and other media. Stanford students who developed the platform in 2020 are just now launching it at Northwestern. Many NU students posted promotions for the app during the first week back.
There was like 10 hours. It was 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And of those 10 hours, we were required to work for 6 hours. And during those 6 hours, we basically had a wagon full of donuts and hats. And so we were like offering those to people to sign up for the app or offering the hats to them to post on their Instagram story.
Fizz's launch follows Northwestern's side chat earlier in the fall. The two apps are similar. Ultimately, students will decide whether Fizz's influence has, well, fizzled out.
Now, Northwestern used a quarter system since the 1940s, but some students say the quick start after the new year shows many of the schedule's flaws. The goal of the quarter system is to allow students to take more classes. 3 10-week periods mean an extra chance to take new classes, but it also means more midterms and finals. NU started class last week, only 3 days into the new year, to fit both winter and spring quarter in before a summer vacation. But some students love the system's benefits.
I can take all the classes I need to fulfill all of the qualifications for these majors and for my pre-med requirements, and I still have space left over to take classes I enjoy.
And now we have NNN's Ananya Chugh in the studio with us. Ananya, we just heard from one student who prefers the quarter system, but some students want Northwestern to shift to a semester system. Now, why is that?
Yeah, so I think students often find the quarter system really fast-paced since we change classes 3 times in an academic year instead of the usual 2. And as soon as you fall behind, it's also really hard to catch up with work, meaning that you have to work extra hard in your classes if you fall behind. Another big problem is that students is the expense of flying back and forth, especially from Thanksgiving to winter break. And it seems a little silly to fly back for only a couple of days, only to be thinking about finals and then fly back to school for just 1 week, only to be on break again.
Totally, and you talked with a university professor about Northwestern possibly changing its academic calendar. What were their comments?
So Jackie Kazaza at the Office of the Registrar, who I conversed with, basically clarified that they had thought about many different calendar plans before. It's not like this was just the only one. However, there are certain federal standards that Northwestern needs to meet, as the university does provide financial aid. For instance, the school has to meet 30 weeks a year and 10 weeks each term, which is translated into the quarter system that we have now. So it's not entirely up to the school of what kind of system they can operate on.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ananya, for reporting. Alexia?
A local Evanston photographer has been recording the special moments of Evanston over the past year. Evanston Roundtable photographer Richard Cahan spent the past year taking photos of the day-to-day moments of Evanston. He walks the streets of the city, covering cultural events, city news, and Evanstonians in their everyday lives.
I think Evanston learns a lot from my pictures. I learn a lot from it.
Cahan posts his photos along with a 100-word description 6 days a week in his column At This Time for the community news site Evanston Roundtable. Now, Ellie, I was taking a look at some of Cahan's photos and I found that I really enjoyed how he depicts everyday life scenes and how familiar the scenes seem to me. What did you think?
Yeah, I can't help to think with these photos what's going to happen, in the years, how we're going to be able to look back and reflect on them, and other people being able to enjoy them as a glimpse into our everyday life. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, you're right. Especially since we now live in Evanston, I feel like even seeing photos of the lake or the train stations, it's all familiar because it's things that we've experienced as well,
Totally. It feels so special, especially since this is kind of a new place for us coming here for college. At least it's a new place for me.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I'm from New York, so being here is totally new to me.
Yeah, I'm from Dallas, so total change. Anyways, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks so much for watching.
Stay tuned for the Northwestern News Report coming up next. I'm Alexia Cadota Browner.
And I'm Ellie Skelly. Have a great night.